Magnus Carlsen, a chess prodigy who has left an indelible mark on the world of chess, achieved the remarkable feat of becoming a grandmaster at the age of 13, making him the second youngest grandmaster in history. His reign as the world chess champion, a title he has held for 5 consecutive terms, further solidifies his status as a chess legend. In the world of chess grandmasters, Magnus Carlsen faced a new and formidable challenger in Hikaru Nakamura. Nakamura, a young and rising star, was renowned for his aggressive and dynamic style of play, which added an exciting dimension to the game. The 2019 World Blitz Championship emerged as a must-see event for chess enthusiasts worldwide. It featured a clash of titans, with Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura, two of the most thrilling players globally, competing for supremacy. The game unfolded with Magnus initiating his opening move by advancing his pawn to d4, marking the beginning of this high-stakes match. Hikaru responded by strategically moving his knight to f6, opting for a solid defensive strategy. Magnus continued by placing his knight on f3, and Hikaru reinforced the center by positioning his pawn on d5. The match intensified as Magnus boldly advanced his bishop to f4, indicating a specific strategy. Both players displayed unwavering concentration and focus on their moves. Hikaru, opting for an aggressive approach, pushed his pawn to c5, challenging the central control. Magnus initiated a bishop exchange, briefly pausing the game before Hikaru accepted the trade. Magnus then positioned his bishop to exert dominance over the center. Hikaru proposed a bishop exchange as well, and after a series of subsequent moves, Magnus redirected his rook to c1, strategically targeting Hikaru's queen. Hikaru reacted by moving his queen to a safer location. Magnus proceeded to castle his king and rook, and Hikaru advanced his pawn to b6. The game continued to unfold, with Magnus offering another bishop exchange, a proposition that Hikaru eventually embraced. Magnus then advanced his knight to e5, maintaining control and pressure. Hikaru responded by maneuvering his knight to d7, but Magnus had an alternative plan in mind, suggesting a queen trade by moving his queen to f3, a proposition that Hikaru deliberately sidestepped. As Hikaru's clock ticked down, Magnus persistently posed threats to Hikaru's king, compelling it to seek a safer haven. Magnus furthered his strategy by moving his knight to c4, and Hikaru, in a daring move, captured Magnus's pawn on a decision fraught with risk. Magnus continued his offensive by advancing his pawn to g5, targeting Hikaru's knight on f6. Hikaru responded by relocating his knight to c5, creating an escape route for his other knight. Magnus pressed on by advancing his knight to d6, increasing the pressure on the center and focusing on the vulnerable f7 square. Hikaru, sensing the gravity of the situation, deviated from a safer course, opting to move his knight to b3, a choice that would prove to be costly. In response, Magnus executed a brilliant tactical maneuver by moving his rook to c4, launching a calculated assault on Hikaru's queen. Hikaru countered with a move of his queen to a4, but Magnus adeptly placed his rook on c4 once more, relentless in his pursuit of Hikaru's queen. Continuing his relentless offensive strategy, Magnus pushed his pawn to g5, intensifying the pressure on Hikaru's knight. Hikaru moved his knight to d7, but it was too late to alter the course of the game. Magnus moved his rook to h4, strategically positioning for material gains by trading Hikaru's knights for his rook. In a final, desperate attempt, Hikaru moved his rook to f8, aiming for a checkmate. However, Magnus promptly thwarted any hopes of victory by moving his rook to f4. Realizing the inevitable outcome, Hikaru resigned from the match, thus crowning Magnus Carlsen as the 3-time consecutive Blitz World Champion.